Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down complex stories straight from the source. Today, we're jumping right into a high-stakes battle that feels like a real-life thriller, set right in the heart of New York City between one tenant and a massive real estate giant. So, have you ever felt that way? Like you're suddenly a detective in your own life? Well, that's exactly what happened to one tenant. For this explainer, we're going to call him Detective Allan, and we are opening his case file. It's a story packed with mysterious bills, a really confusing lease, and a fight for answers.
So, to really get what's going on here, we need to set the scene. We need to meet the players on this very modern battleground. It's a classic David versus Goliath story, playing out against the famous Manhattan skyline. Our story unfolds right here at the Eugene. It's a gleaming 62-story luxury tower in Manhattan, and it's managed by Brookfield Properties, a true global giant in real estate. And for one tenant, the stakes inside this building are about to get as high as the building itself.
All of a sudden, Detective Allan finds himself fighting a war on two fronts. At first, they seem totally unrelated. On one side, you've got this messy dispute with his landlord over the lease. And on the other, a completely baffling, astronomical electricity bill. He had no idea these two mysteries were about to collide. Okay, so the first clue in this whole mystery, it starts with the paperwork, the fine print. Specifically, it's a lease renewal that the landlord sent to Detective Allan, but never actually bothered to sign themselves. Just check out this timeline. It is a bit of a mess. So Detective Allan's last valid lease expires in November 2023. Simple enough. But by 2024, he's paying over $9,000 a month, getting auto-debited. And then, here's the kicker. Brookfield later claims that because they never signed that renewal, he's actually just a month-to-month tenant. So wait, which one is it?
And we are not talking about a small jump in rent here. Look at this. It's a leap of over $2,000 a month. And this new, higher amount was being withdrawn from his account, all without a valid, countersigned contract ever being put in place. It's pretty wild.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth did they justify this? Well, here's their logic, pulled straight from an email from their property administrator. Their position is basically, hey, you paid it, so you agreed to it. It's this argument of an implied agreement, even though they never put their own signature on the document. Okay, so just as all this lease drama is heating up, a second investigation kicks off. And this one involves the electricity bill, which suddenly skyrockets to an amount that's, well, it's almost unbelievable. $773.29. Let that number sink in for a second. That was for a single 36-day period. I mean, to put that into perspective, a typical two-bedroom apartment in New York might have a monthly bill closer to $200. This number just didn't make any sense. And of course, Detective Allan, he's on the case. He does the math himself. He's looking at his own smart meters, and they're telling him one story, but the bill from the utility provider, Metergy, is telling a completely different one. He basically asked them, wait a second, you're charging me for over 2,000 kilowatt hours, but I can only account for about 220. Where's all this extra power going? Now, this is where the investigation gets really interesting. Detective Allan is talking with a senior Brookfield engineer. And as they're looking over the building plans, the engineer floats a really startling theory about why this might be happening. And here it is, the bombshell clue. The engineer literally suggested that because apartment 37F is right next door to the elevator machine room, his meter might be incorrectly wired to power the building's elevators. I mean, can you even imagine? A single tenant unknowingly footing the bill for the building's elevators? The engineer even said there should be a deduct meter to separate those costs. So, why wasn't there one? And just when you think this web can't get any more tangled, it does. This is the real kicker. Detective Allan digs a little deeper and discovers that Metergy, the utility company sending him these insane bills, is actually owned by his landlord, Brookfield. Now, while that relationship might be legal, it raises some serious questions about a conflict of interest when a tenant tries to dispute a bill. So, Detective Allan is pushing for answers. He's asking tough questions about the lease, about the meter, and what does the landlord do?
They decide it's time to play hardball. The friendly negotiations are officially over.
An email lands in his inbox, and you know it's serious because it's marked with high importance. The whole tone has shifted. This isn't a negotiation anymore. This is an ultimatum.
And the choices they lay out are pretty stark. Option 1, sign a new 12-month lease at an even higher rent, almost $9,500 a month. Or Option 2, provide notice and get out. And if he fails to respond by their deadline, they state they will initiate a holdover case, and that's just legal speak for eviction proceedings.
So here we are at the crucial moment. You're backed into a corner, you're facing an eviction threat. What's your next move? When you're staring down a corporate Goliath, what does the playbook even look like? This is where we get into the potential legal strategy. Okay, so if this is a chess match, Detective Allan actually has several powerful moves he can make. He doesn't just have to react. First, he can go on the offensive with the money, challenge that rent increase because of the unsigned lease, and file a rent overcharge claim to get back what he's overpaid. Second, he can argue his rights were just flat-out violated. The whole utility issue could be a breach of warranty of habitation, and that eviction threat right after he complained, that smells an awful lot like illegal retaliation. And then there's the big move. He could expand the battlefield, investigate the building's rent stabilization status, or if other tenants have similar utility issues, explore a class action lawsuit. Then it's not just one tenant's problem anymore.
The case of Apartment 37F is so much more than just one tenant's story. It shines a really bright light on the incredible power imbalances in the modern rental market. And it leaves all of us with the critical question. In a world of corporate landlords and complex legal systems, how can the average person make sure their rights are protected and their voice is actually heard? This is one case that is far from closed.